1984. Author, George Orwell. Year of publication 1949. Published by Secker and Warburg. 1984 by George Orwell, published in 1949, is a dystopian novel that explores themes of totalitarianism, surveillance, censorship, and the manipulation of truth. Set in a future world dominated by oppressive governments, the novel serves as a powerful warning against the dangers of unchecked political power and the erosion of individual freedoms. Here's a detailed summary of this influential work. Plot overview. The novel is set in Airstrip 1, formerly known as Great Britain, a province of the superstate Oceania. Oceania is one of 3 totalitarian superstates, along with Eurasia and East Asia, that are constantly at war with each other. The story takes place in a society controlled by the party, led by the mysterious and omnipresent figure known as Big Brother. The party exerts total control over all aspects of life, including thoughts, emotions, and behavior. The protagonist, Winston Smith, works at the Ministry of Truth, where his job is to alter historical records to fit the party's constantly changing narratives. Despite his role in perpetuating the party's propaganda, Winston secretly despises the regime and harbors thoughts of rebellion. His growing dissatisfaction with the party's control over truth and reality leads him to seek out ways to resist. Main characters. Winston Smith, a 39-year-old man who works as a clerk at the Ministry of Truth. He becomes increasingly disillusioned with the party and begins to question its authority. Winston is introspective, intelligent, and deeply aware of the oppressive nature of the society in which he lives. Julia, Winston's love interest, a young woman who works in the fiction department at the Ministry of Truth. Unlike Winston, Julia is pragmatic and rebellious in a more personal, less ideological way. Her rebellion is driven by her desire for personal pleasure and autonomy rather than a broader political agenda. O'Brien, a high-ranking member of the inner party, who initially appears sympathetic to Winston's rebellious thoughts but ultimately betrays him. O'Brien represents the ultimate face of party loyalty and the terrifying power of totalitarianism. Big Brother, the leader of the party, though it is unclear whether he actually exists. Big Brother's image is ubiquitous, symbolizing the party's surveillance and control over the population. Themes and structure. 1984 explores several themes that resonate deeply with the realities of totalitarian regimes, as well as the dangers of unchecked government power. Totalitarianism and oppression. At the heart of 1984 is Orwell's critique of totalitarianism. The party controls every aspect of life in Oceania, from the thoughts of its citizens to the very language they use. The concept of newspeak is introduced as a language designed to eliminate the possibility of rebellious thoughts, the ultimate form of control over the mind. The party's slogan, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength," epitomizes the contradictions inherent in its propaganda. The novel portrays a society in which individualism and independent thought are eradicated. The party's control extends to rewriting history, manipulating facts, and promoting a reality where 2 + 2 can equal 5 if the party says so. This absolute control over truth is one of the most terrifying aspects of the regime, as it leaves no room for objective reality or dissent. Surveillance and the loss of privacy. The concept of surveillance is central to 1984. The party constantly monitors its citizens through telescreens, which function as both televisions and security cameras. These devices are present in every home and public space, ensuring that the party can watch and listen to everyone at all times. The slogan, "Big Brother is watching you," serves as a constant reminder of the party's omnipresent gaze. This constant surveillance creates a sense of paranoia and fear, as no one can be sure when they are being watched. Even thoughts are policed through the Thought Police, an organization that roots out and punishes any form of dissent or unorthodox thinking. Winston's fear of being caught by the Thought Police underscores the pervasive sense of danger in this society. Language and thought control. Language is another tool the party uses to control the population. The development of newspeak, a language designed to diminish the range of thought, is one of the novel's most innovative and chilling ideas. By eliminating words that could express dissent or rebellion, the party seeks to make it impossible for people to even conceive of subversive ideas. The ultimate goal is to create a population that is incapable of thinking critically or questioning the party's authority. This manipulation of language is part of the broader theme of reality control, or doublethink, where citizens are trained to accept two contradictory ideas simultaneously. For example, the party teaches that war is peace, and that freedom is slavery, using doublethink to ensure that citizens do not recognize the absurdity of these statements. Resistance and rebellion. Winston's journey in 1984 is one of resistance and the search for truth in a world where truth is constantly manipulated. His rebellion begins with small acts, such as keeping a secret diary in which he writes anti-party thoughts. This diary becomes a symbol of his desire for freedom and his struggle against the party's control over his mind. Winston's relationship with Julia represents another form of rebellion. Their illicit love affair is an act of defiance against the party's strict regulations on sexuality and personal relationships. Through their relationship, Winston experiences moments of happiness and hope, which starkly contrast with the bleakness of his everyday life. However, Winston's resistance is ultimately futile. He and Julia are betrayed by O'Brien, who reveals himself as a loyal party member. Winston's capture and subsequent torture at the Ministry of Love highlight the party's absolute power to crush any form of dissent. The power of the state. The final section of 1984 deals with Winston's imprisonment, torture, and eventual betrayal of Julia. Under the pressure of intense physical and psychological torture, Winston is broken down by O'Brien. He is forced to confront his worst fears in Room 101, where prisoners are subjected to their greatest phobias. For Winston, this is a cage of rats, which ultimately compels him to betray Julia, the person he loves most. This betrayal symbolizes the party's ability to destroy even the most intimate and personal forms of rebellion. By the end of the novel, Winston is completely broken. He has been reprogrammed to love Big Brother, demonstrating the terrifying extent of the party's control over individuals. The novel closes with Winston's final, chilling acceptance of the party's authority. He had won the victory over himself. He loved Big Brother. Themes of power and control. The novel concludes with a grim portrayal of the party's unassailable power. Orwell emphasizes that in a totalitarian state, power is an end in itself. The party does not seek power to achieve some greater good. Rather, power is the ultimate goal. This is encapsulated in O'Brien's chilling assertion that the party seeks power entirely for its own sake. The novel's bleak ending serves as a powerful warning about the dangers of totalitarianism. It suggests that in a society where power is absolute and unchecked, individual freedom is impossible. Orwell's portrayal of a world where truth is what the party says it is, and where dissent is crushed utterly, is a haunting reflection on the potential for political systems to dehumanize and control. Legacy and impact. 1984 has had a profound impact on literature, politics, and popular culture. Terms like Big Brother newspeak and doublethink have entered the lexicon as symbols of government overreach, propaganda, and the manipulation of truth. The novel's themes of surveillance, censorship, and the abuse of power remain relevant in discussions about modern governments, technology, and the preservation of individual freedoms. Conclusion. 1984 is a powerful and disturbing exploration of a dystopian future where totalitarianism has stripped humanity of its freedom, truth, and dignity. Orwell's novel serves as both a cautionary tale and a call to resist the forces that threaten to erode individual liberties. Through its compelling narrative and profound themes, 1984 continues to resonate with readers, offering a sobering reflection on the potential consequences of unchecked power and the loss of personal freedom. The end.